Well, how is everyone doing today? I hope you're doing well and having a good Friday. And if your Friday isn't going too well, then just know that our hearts are with you and we send you positive thoughts and energy your way. Most definitely. Forgive me, I had to take a sip of water. All right. Well, we know what time it is right now, and we are all up in our zero tolerance for bullying, right? Zero tolerance means zero tolerance. Zero tolerance. But while I'm on the topic here, let me start off by letting you all know about, well, you definitely go onto the, this is a website. You go to the website and go to the link for my actual website. Can't get enough podcasts. And then go to our about page, and then you'll see our bullying, the bullying organization that been in the works for some time now, and that would be Bullies and Bullied No More. Boom, bam, right there. No more. But it is a learning and growing experience. It's just not a place to help one that is dealing with bullying and to advocate for that. It's actually just a whole movement, like a process. It's a whole growth. It's a put in place to create leaders. That's why it's bullies and bullies no more. So we take in bullies. We want, hey, we're trying to perform, you know, because bullies need help too. And if you're trying to fix the situation, bring some, some resolution, some resolve some, to this whole thing. You must have a place for one that is being a bully, especially when dealing with youth, because you don't want the outcomes for them to be just as detrimental. There could be so many things that could go badly, as we've known and we've seen, from violence to be fatalities, and to just run amok through life hurting people that end up hurting themselves or hurting someone else or a lot of people. And so many are affected and suffer from it. So this right here is something that under no circumstances should not be taken care of as of anything else in society that holds a detriment to people's very safety and being as a human being. I mean, this is our future, and if we want to raise them up in the best way possible, then you can't overlook things like this. I find the ignorance in when people say or think how things don't affect them, so they're not going to pay it any mind, and then have the audacity, God forbid, but when something happens to them, oh me, oh me, oh my. It's called empathy. But hey, it affects everyone. One motion set in place can trickle on down. It may even take time, but it gets there, and then it affects you. But it's really just truly it's about being a great and a good overall human being and giving back and wanting to help see change. Not change as far as, well, I'm just going to change this right here. But, so that's what it's about. It's about showing the differences of how the bully and the bullied can come together. The bully can see the things that you have to show them, what the things that can take place, what you do when you do these things. And then the bullied can see what might be going on, get to learn why people do these things. Because from my experience working in the educational field, a lot of kids have a lot of things going on at home. They might be being bullied. Amongst many other children, they go overlooked. Lots of things, trauma, lots of the anger, and then they come to school and that's their place to be able to have some kind of power or control. But with that being said, that power and control comes with someone or people that aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. It should just be mandatory, part of a Common Core, mandatory to have one put in place. Because, policies and all that stuff, that's, from what I see, it's just a lot of paper, but not any active, no action, purposefully done. If you are a place that has children, then these type of things need to be put in place. I mean, look at the world we live in right now. So therefore, there's no excuse. So how much are you really invested? Are you really into helping to bring along these children to grow up in this world? That's why parents, you need to be very much engaged in your child's education in their school. How careless not to want to know what people are saying and doing and teaching your child. Okay? What they are seeing, what they're being exposed to. Oh, yeah. Are you a good teacher? Get close to her. Get to know her. She ain't got no choice. And if she's there for the right reasons, she's going to welcome it. And that's that. But as for parents, that whole, that ain't my job, that's your job, attitude, you're the first teacher. Everything, it's all your job. To know it, to learn it. Yes, because the teacher already got a boss. But you're the parent. So you should just want to know. You want to go sometimes and see how the teacher teaches. I mean, come on. Get with the program, like I said, so you don't be on the other side of that table getting misinformed. How many parents have seen confused because they don't really know what they're being told, because they don't care to know. Somebody else's job to teach them. Teaching never stops. The very important teachings are the ones that we teach. Those morals, those values, those things, those life skills, because the schools aren't doing them. But you want to make sure they match up with yours, and you need to know what they are doing. No ifs and buts about it. It's not a daycare. Know exactly what they're supposed to be learning. Like right now, our kids are out of school. Most of them, do the distance learning. For the ones that weren't, I don't know. But there's things that they'll be taught in certain grades, from cutting and writing. Those things, those very things. Blending the letters, all that matters. They all come together. They need to know how to use their sounds. What sound makes what and which letter goes with what. So much that they've been behind on that you can learn. Google's free to cover those. What would they be learning in school? Learning, not, actually physical, like looking and entering their brain as it's being taught. It's sad, but that we know the government doesn't really care about the part that they desire, but they need, is the social part. because the social part helps them to learn how to function within situations, how to deal with one, how do you not exercise, how do you exercise that if you don't have it? So what do? You get Cree freaking native and make sure that you're still pushing those social type skills. I mean, at school we have the kids, we give them those tools, but we don't always jump in for every situation. You teach them how to the critical thinking, how to problems, how you deal with it, how do you agree on certain things, and then something you got to put it in action. But you have to monitor and you pay attention if you're doing your job correctly, just in case it goes left. But you got to let them exercise those skills that you're teaching, how to problem solve and how to get through a disagreement, how to be fair, all that stuff. And then letting them interact, all that builds character and personality, who they are, diversity and all that. But with that comes things like this, bullying. And let's make sure that we are making it clear that just because somebody was mean to you today, probably one other time, that's not bullying. Bullying is damn near like freaking harassment. You're being bullied. You're being literally made basically to feel miserable. And let me tell you something. For someone to have that to be their goal, because that's what a bully is, that's what they do. That's some sick shit for a child to carry in their heads, and for it to go before for it to go without anyone stepping in is very disturbing. You know how many cases we've seen? There are so many cases of teachers walking past a child being physically harassed. Oh yeah, got that shit on video. Literally walking past. You might as well have joined in because you just looked and just what was so hard. Who would want their child when you send your child to school? You want to know your child is safe. Leaving children learning disabilities, there because bullies have a target. They have a target. They usually go for more shy or learning disability. They know, okay? They know who to mess with. This is where you need to, as parents, we all need to do, because the thing is, we won't ever get rid, of, because children are exposed to it, but they're exposed to it at home, they pick up these behaviors. Get rid of bullying, but you could damn sure put things in place to where it's less likely to happen in a way where it affects your child so detrimental, because the development now they have these traumas as they grow up. I hear it all the time. I had many people on my show that had it in different forms. One went from a bully to from being a bully to not being a bully. I think he went through all three stages, and then he became the hero for the bullies, and he would beat up the bullies. uh, yeah. Some that carried it out throughout their childhood, through their adulthood, that it impacted them in a negative way growing up. So many different ones. So don't think this is normal. The first person that sat down one day and said, "Oh, that's what kids do," was one of the most ignorant statements and thought processes that one can ever think. Kids will come out the womb ready, to be. That's what they do, I mean, come on. What happens is it went without any care or concern, and no one handled it. They just said, deal with it. I understand as a certain time in life in the day when things were different, that's what they did. Well, unfortunately, we're in a different time now, so leave that where it needs to be at, because this shit has turned up on a whole nother level when you have school shootings, of kids committing suicide. The cyberbullying is not no joke. So many people, so many youth have literally left out of a social media app and went and carried through the just go kill yourself comments people were making. Your personal thoughts, whatever, doesn't really matter at this point when people say, well, that child should be this, this, and that. Well, you should be probably educated, I would say to that person, before you open your mouth, because at this point it doesn't even matter anymore. This is the world we live in. This is what is happening. The solution is all. You have no solutions, you don't even get to perpetuate this stuff right here. You're not a help, you're just space that could be given to somebody else that is ready to be effective, because it's very possible. It's just the lack of, and that's crazy to me, because these kids don't deserve to go to school and get harassed. It's harassment. And then get into fights, have someone hit you, because I did. There's this man I know, but Jerry Roderick. He's very good at what he does. He has a book. He teaches martial arts, and then he also helps children and families with these type of things. You know, building the kids up, but also letting them know, breaking down bullying for what it really, really is. And once you start getting physical and putting your hands and physically hitting somebody, that shit is not bullying anymore. That is called this damn near assault. And schools have a whole different way of dealing with it. Sometimes they don't even reprimand anyone. They do nothing. And then you send someone home for a day and call it suspension, but all you're doing is nothing, because kid comes back, does the same thing, or whatever. I mean, kid goes home and watch TV all day long. Is that how that operates? That's not a penalty. That's not a consequence. That's nothing. Teachers just need to be taught and learn. First of all, if that's the case, then get it done. It should have been done many, many, many years ago. Second of all, you don't really need training to know what wrong is wrong, because parents have kids at home. Would you want your child to be beat on, hit every day? No. Boom. Then there you go. So what are we going to do about it? Put things in place, get it moving. But to have to figure out, how do I deal with it? Well, how would you, I mean, come on. I don't play the stupid games. I don't. I've seen it too many times. And people co-sign it. But sometimes people need to get another field. Because I don't play when it comes to this type of thing, because nobody has time to play. Because people like to play and act like they don't know what's really going on. And that's why I tell parents, you better stay embedded, ingrained into the environment your child is in, so you know what's going on there. That is not something you should ever be wanting to negotiate. It would be nice to know that we think our kids are safe at school, but the only way you're going to know is to be involved in school. They should know your first, your last name, and then some. They should probably even know the smell of your perfume, or if you don't wear perfume. But all I'm saying is, don't ever sleep on anything that has to do with the environment your child is in. And before we leave, I just want to say it is our job and responsibility to make sure that we raise our kids up and put those positive, true affirmations and those things in them, letting them know that they are worthy, they're loved. Give them that sense of confidence. Sometimes they go home and get ragged on by siblings or whomever. Sometimes the parent. Get it together. Because somewhere down the line you have to figure out what went wrong, what happened somewhere. But if no one's doing nothing, then everybody is, you know. I advocated the heck, and I will not stop for my child. You already know I'm coming. If I'm breathing, I'm coming. There's not a problem. There is nothing. No excuse. It's the worst feeling ever to feel like you're trying to reach out for help, and then a whole grown adult that took on a job, definitely, because number one, no matter what, before learning is safety. And you can't even do that, then you might want to get a new field, because ain't nobody trying to play around with safety of children, because you want a half-ass job to go get a half-ass job that doesn't involve children's lives. People that truly want to build and help these children, not by the color of their skins or whatever it is, but truly help children because they're children, that's a place that should hold teachers, staff, everyone that's there. If there's anything on that in the schools, should have that in mind. And if not, leave. Because I wouldn't want my child around you. I don't think anybody would. So if you wouldn't want that going on with your child, then you should treat these other ones. Make sure they are safe, just as when you send your child to school. Bullying is never anything to take lightly. It's not funny, and I'm talking to adults. I got on a whole radio show one time. I was listening, and the guys were just, yeah, bullying is, people take it seriously. This is some healthy amount of bullying. That's the dumbest stuff I ever heard in my freaking life. I got on that show. It went well. They had a new way of thinking because I just had to hit them with the truth. What was happening was really going on because some people might not know. They might just not know. You'd be surprised at some people, especially if you get ones that are settled in their ways and it's been like they're older. In my day, your day, that you probably wouldn't even call bullying. This is Brandy J. Zero tolerance for bullying. And don't sleep on bullies and bullied no more. Either you're with it or you're not. So let's do something and let's save our children. Peace.